What is up, guys? Mcdoubles back again with a brand new video, and today I've got a fully random, from scratch, brand new account playthrough on Project Ascension. We can see 1 to 60 with no pay to win and how it goes. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. Let's jump right in. A lot of you guys have been saying, make a brand new account, make a new character, show me that you can play the game without all of the extra bells and whistles, and not just that, but that your build doesn't come out looking like garbage. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to prove it. I'm going to show it in this video. 1 to 60, guys, okay? No XP pots or auras from me personally, starting from scratch. I'll even show you guys again. Brand new account, just this one guy called Baby Back B. Don't even worry about it. We're gonna create a new character, so let's do it. Okay, we're in game, guys. I made my character. I want to make it very clear. Look, there are no skill cards on this guy, and I don't even know what my primary stat's gonna be yet, because as you can see, I haven't even started my draft. I am gonna be leveling this guy to 60. It's just gonna be proof, right? A lot of people, they want to say that the game is like so pay to win that a new player is at such a crazy disadvantage that they can't compete, that you can barely even have fun in some cases, right? What I want to prove is that not only can I easily compete, all it takes is a little bit of knowledge. So let's pretend you watched my recent guide on how to play this game. If you at least had the basic knowledge from that guide, you can do exactly what I'm about to do with this character. So we'll be able to prove it, or maybe I'll be proven wrong. Maybe it'll suck. I don't know. But this is my guy. His name is Random WoW. Let's go ahead and show that name. And I finally got the UI and everything kind of in its basic form where I want it, just so this doesn't, you know, feel terrible. It's not my actual account, right? It's Mcdoubles 2. So we're in. Let's go ahead and start drafting. So here are my options right now. I have my spell draft deck. If I don't like my initial ability draft, I'm probably just going to click it until I get something that's suitable for me. You might be asking, what do you go for in a world where there's no dealer's draft deck to pick your start? Well, that's a good question. You'd want to go for things with easy initial synergy. I'm thinking a caster build right off the bat. I don't want to do melee, but we'll see what the cards give us quite literally. Righteous Fury, Healing Touch, Stealth. Now, I would go Stealth because if I get backstab, that would be very good for a backstab build, but I've already done that. I've already proven how OP that is at low levels. Let's go Healing Touch. Having a heal is always good. A big one. Holy Light, Healing Touch, Greater Heal. Let's take it. All right, Arcane Shot, Arcane Missiles. There we go. That might be the way to go. Maybe this is actually an Arcane build. Arcane Missiles is very solid at low levels. You can see I don't even have my bars done yet. It's all the random, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with a little. Who even uses these? Anyway, moving on. Interesting. Lightning Bolt, Searing Totem, Smite. So the first thing that comes to my head, because I'm seeing the Arcane Missiles and the Smite, is actually a Prophet of Wrath build. You can see right here, it requires Arcane Missiles and maybe the Arcane Blast eventually. It also requires Divine Illumination, and then we also need the Holy Fire or the Smite, or preferably both. It's not crazy outside of the realm of possibility though, and it makes the most sense. So let's go with that knowledge and take the Smite. All right, last draft. Oh, Life Tap, Heroic Strike, Earth Shock. I'm going to take the Life Tap. When you play caster, that's basically always the way to go. Let's do it. Let me go ahead and set up my keybinds real quick, and I'll see you guys in a moment, and we'll start leveling. All right, basic keybinds set up. We're going to go ahead and go with Intellect, because we're a caster build. Pop that staff on, destroy the spell draft deck. All right, let's do it. So the whole point of this character is to reach 60 and just you watching that journey the entire time. You know, you can compare it to my dealer's draft deck videos where I basically have a build in mind and have a main character that I've used to send stuff to my new character with. You know, you can compare it all to that and tell me what you think. Was it wildly different? I'm personally very confident that it's not going to be that different. I always start every season off this way anyway, and I just kind of custom draft something and we'll see what happens, and it always goes well because it's more about your knowledge, right? A little bit less about the RNG. The only exception is gear, right? But unfortunately in that regard it's an MMO, so you can always expect that somebody's going to have better stuff than you and they're only going to win because of that. But in terms of pure abilities and the ability to level fast and efficiently and get a good build, I don't think it really matters at all if you put money into the game or not. That's just me, just my opinion. But you know, talk is cheap, so I'm putting my money, so to speak, where my mouth is, and I'm gonna prove it. If I'm honest with you, the worst part is gonna be not having a Book of Ascension to learn all of my abilities on demand with. I just thought of it now. It was like, hey, Smite has a new rank, and I was like, oh cool, let me get my oh yeah, I don't have one. So yeah, I was like, yeah, that sucks. That's why I was doing the giveaways, right? I gave out a bunch, I mean a bunch of Ascension little chest thingies that gave out books of Ascension in them, because I personally think that's the only thing that matters. But I'm sure I'll find some along the way. They've also put them in some cities now for the low-level players and stuff, so it probably won't be that bad. I mean, I've got currently Druid, Priest, and Mage and Warlock spells, so if I had to go to the class trainers for all of that, it would really be a bummer. Alright, Sting of the Scorpid, and lastly we'll do Sarkoth right here, and we're gone. We are leaving the starter zone. Okay, we're in Razor Hill, and here we go. Beginner's Book of Ascension. Obviously, I want to filter it by just what's available, and we'll take the Smite. Not too bad. Alright guys, let's get to level 10, see what our very first ability is. Want to prove once again, there's nothing here. Okay, example ability. No sealed cards, no cheating. Okay, not cheating even for the content, pure random. Let's see what we get. Oh, you guys hate me right now, and I can feel it. I can feel it through the computer before the video goes live. I'm gonna go Psychic Scream. What can I say? Sometimes you just get lucky all the time. Let us take it. I can fear, and then I can immediately heal myself. I can fear, and then I can immediately start doing damage. I mean, I know it seems simple, but it's better than somebody who doesn't have it, right? So let's go to the Barrens now. My first instinct was to use I have all the flight paths unlocked on my character, man. It costs 60 gold on the auction house, okay? But this guy has nothing. So I guess I'm just gonna run as these guys taunt me with their mounts, which I also can't afford. Damn it, I just thought about it. And that, my friends, oh look, it's green. That's level 12, guys. I've been looking forward to the green. Finally, I guess the recent patch just finally solidified what I talked about in my September updates video. Link in the description below. Always gotta take the second to plug my own shit. Anyway, yeah, let's see what it is. Good! It's something nobody would ever want! Yes! That's what I want to see. Why was Divine Storm the same rarity as Stone Skin Totem once upon a time, right? Great job. And I like the green. The green looks cute, man. I like it. Okay, what else do we got? Mind Blast? More crap. Am I gonna take the uncommon? That's a fascinating concept, right? I mean, everything's bad here. You could say, well, you could go Mind Blast, and then you could talent into Mind Blast for healing reduction. To that, I would say, you're quite smart. You're right. I could do that. Strength of the Earth Totem just doesn't make any sense. Stone Skin, unfortunately, I wish they would buff it. Isn't that crazy? Like, I wish somebody would just not be afraid to buff some of the garbage out there. Stone Skin Totem is not Terabad, I guess. It's accomplishing kind of what it needs to accomplish, but it's never ever good for anything but a tank. Like, I'm not even wrong there. Even a tank doesn't really care. Unless I'm missing something and they buffed it without me knowing, Stone Skin Totem is one of the most garbage abilities in the entire game, outside of the true garbage, like, let's say, Eagle Eye or Eye of Kilrog. I'm gonna go Mind Blast because it's just regular, it's common, and again, I get some healing reduction out of it. I don't have an interrupt, I don't have a stun, I do have a fear, but that's not good enough in this case if they have a spammable heal, so Mind Blast has to be the way to go. Since we're level 12, I can probably, let's see, Shadow, okay, it's level 20, reduce the cooldown, and 100% chance to reduce all healing done to the target by 40%. That's what you need. If you get into any kind of high risk, or PvP in general, you need a way to reduce healing done to the targets. If you don't have that, you're basically screwed if they have a heal, unless you are chock full of stuns and interrupts, and even then, why risk it? Why? I mean, it's so cheap, I think, to get a healing reduction. But anyway, level 12, everything's going pretty smooth. I will say, I have rank 1 abilities, and that feels really bad. So I'm going to have to find a book real quick. Let's see if somebody in the Crossroads has one. I remember the old days when I literally had nothing. I could never afford anything in the game, and I was brand new, and I always had to use somebody's book, and I made videos. But hey, look, I was right. Somebody does have one. It's just nice. There's my healing touch. It's the only thing, apparently, that I could level up. I do have 3 talent points though, and my main, look at all the green, that's beautiful. I'm sorry, I shouldn't really stop this video to talk about that, but it is. That's a new update, guys. Uncommon abilities, they took my advice. I'm trying so hard to make this game good for you guys. I've tried so hard for 2 years, just so much of my life put towards Project Ascension and trying to make it a better game, and it feels so good. That's why I talk about it. It's not because I want you guys to clap for me and say, oh, Mcdoubles, thank you, God, thank you for making it. No, I don't care about that. I say it because I'm happy that I freaking don't feel like I wasted my time, that I did it, you know? That feels good. But anyway, yeah, let's put some points into arcane missiles. Right off the bat, I want to reduce pushback by 100%, and hey, it doesn't hurt to reduce the mana cost of my arcane spells by 9% as well, but reducing that pushback means I can get every single missile off the arcane missiles, and it's, you know, it's good for questing. It's even better, though, for PvP. Right? Even better, especially when you know most people are melee, like this level 12. with the freaking double corrupted Ashbringer on his back. He's Iron Man, lucky for me. You never know what you're gonna find out there in the wild streets of the Crossroads, the Barrens, and what have you. So we're picking up some more quests. I gotta do more of an old school route. The way I like to do it is I go Flame Striders, as you just saw me do first. I do Zevaraptor and disrupt the attacks by going in a circle. I used to go over this a long time ago. I should probably be level 15 by the end of all this, if not way higher, and I can bust out fungal spores and, you know, the other quest where you know, swim to the bottom of a lake up here, and then we can get the centaurs done, etc., etc. We'll get to it, okay? It'll happen. Point is, some of you guys don't know my routes, haven't been watching as long, so I wanted to sneak it in a little bit. And Scare Beast being the first ability of level 14. Can we do better? A legendary? Okay, so what could the legendary be? It could be Divine Protection, Fear, Sprint. The uncommon could be anything. Cure Disease. Okay, good. I'm so glad the cures are on the uncommon slot now. Not really sure why Scare Beast is still rare. I think it should be uncommon. Some of you guys might call me a noob and say, but you can use it on Feral Druids and you can use it on Hunter. Like, come on, who cares? When, like, 1 out of every 100 times you actually make that happen, and it's also not bad. Like, it should be uncommon. That's just me. But anyway, legendary. Lay on Hands. Okay. Okay, so what are we doing, right? We're trying to find things that work for 1 to 60. I'm doing my first playthrough. Maybe I have hopes to prestige at max. Will Lay on Hands be good under that predisposition? I'm gonna go with yes. Actually, I'm gonna go with yes. Reason being, it costs no mana on Ascension, gives 50% of my health instantly, and that's quite good. I think it would be something that somebody would pick if they're just starting the game and they just want to make it to max. So I'm gonna make that happen. See, guys, a good time to use Lay on Hands. Boom. Now I'm not gonna die to the level 18 Raptor. Okay, it paid off. Oh my god, am I still gonna die? No. Mind Blast. Okay, so basically the way this is going right now is I'm just Arcane Missiles and the occasional Mind Blast. I was smiting for a bit because it has a rank too, but I think once I get back to the town and pick up a book, I'll notice very quickly that I'll get some more abilities and they'll hit harder, and yeah, we can stick to the Arcane Missiles. Arcane Missiles is great, guys. It's really, really good early on. I actually have a lot of good plans for it. I'm going to prove to you guys that I'm not even going to have to reach max on welfare, okay? I'm going to make this happen. All right, and this is going to be level 16. Let's see what we get. Okay, Sprint. Wow, that's got to be it, guys. As a caster, I can say Sprint is going to be one of the better things I could be getting in the legendary slots. Improved Sprint is very good as well. It's just really great for maintaining a gap, so I'm going to take it. Very, very nice start. Okay, I'm picking up a few more quests. I have Forgotten Pools, Fungal Spores, Prowlers of the Barrens, which leads to Ichiaki, which is a pretty nice big XP one, and Stolen Silver. So I'm going to go ahead and start questing some more and try to pull out some more levels. And I think we might actually do BGs and stuff as well, just because it is a very good way to level. One of the things I did mention is that if you choose the high-risk way of leveling in my new player guide, my How to Play Ascension guide, what you would probably want to do is mix it in with the occasional dungeon and BG, because then you're going to be maximizing your XP. Of course, if you don't care about that, it's not that deep, but I do. I think that any new player on their very first character would probably care about that, at least for the very first character, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. Okay, brand new ability. Wing Clip, Ancestral Spirit, Fireball. Fireball's the way to go because I could end up going Evoker if everything fails, right? And I can't actually pick up the Divine Illumination. All I would need at this point is Frostbolt. And so, yeah, that's just the best way to go. It's also common, which means I don't really have to care about losing anything good. Okay, so we're level 22 after that BG. That's what I'm talking about, guys. I have no XP aura, nothing, but just joining a BG is a butt ton of XP. Let's see what we get. Earthbind Totem, actually not terrible. There's a way to make it use Entangling Roots on everybody that it affects. That's not bad. Seal of Command, Holy Nova. So some of Earthbind Totem's applicability is the fact that it can be used while shapeshifted in a way that something like Hamstring or possibly Wing Clip could not. That's not to say it's not good. It's just to kind of explain some of the reason that it's an epic. Also the fact that it can Entangling Root CC, and it can also remove, I believe, movement impairing effects, unless I'm just thinking of the wrong expansion. I know that's an enhancement shaman thing. At some point it is. Regardless though, what I think I'm going to do, because it's an epic and because I'd rather get other things, is actually go for the Holy Nova. The Holy Nova is not bad due to the fact that if I go Prophet of Wrath, I'm already going to have Holy Scaling anyway, so it's still a pretty good spell. It also causes no threat, which is nice for PvE. Alright, level 22, Piercing Howl, Charge. Exorcism. Interesting. If I'm honest, I'm not really sure if there's ever a situation where I am going to use the Exorcism, even as a holy Prophet of Wrath build. Again, I really just want to focus on the Smite, eventually, if I'm lucky, the Holy Fire, and the Arcane Missiles. However, Piercing Howl and Charge are basically unusable with my build. These are melee skills as far as I'm concerned. Piercing Howl you would think is universal, but you have to get Rage consistently, which can be easy or can be hard. It really just depends. And obviously, both of these are great while shapeshifted, which I'm not doing. I'm just going to go Exorcism as a result. It might be a little bit of extra damage at low levels. So I just got Mind Flay offered to me, and funnily enough, I think this actually unlocks yet another build. Twilight Paragon requires Smite, Exorcism, and the Mind Flay, and in this case, if I grab Holy Fire, I'm good for both the Arcane Holy version and the Holy Shadow version of this type of dual School of Magic type of build. I don't know. We'll see. I'm actually going to pick it, even though it costs a talent point, because you know what? That just might be the way to go. I have 3 different builds now that I could possibly get randomed to me, and that's pretty nice, especially for my first character on the account. So I'm selling random trash right now. You can see I just broke 1 gold. I'm actually going to do more BGs just to get more satchels. Little known fact that the easiest way to get your mount, if you have absolutely no other way to do it, is just to do BGs, sell the stuff from the satchels, and then that easily makes you like the 14 gold you need for your training and your first mount. So I'm going to do that, and we'll see how long it takes me to acquire it and how many levels I get along the way. Okay, level 28. Focus Magic. Desperate Prayer. Interesting. 100% critical strike chance if I'm using it below 25% health. Summon Imp! Yes, we're gonna take it. That's amazing for casters. All right, nice. That is a free fortitude buff and extra damage. Also, I basically just keep finding other people's books and using them, and they're so plentiful that it hasn't actually mattered. It was a little annoying when I was solo questing, but the more I stick around other people, the less it matters. Okay, I'm level 30 now. I've got another satchel. Sometimes I actually want the stuff I get from this. That's the only problem. Oh, I just got Invoker! Whoa! I can use this while leveling. Look at my current belt, man. Casting Arcane Missiles while Arcane Barrage is active. Okay, that doesn't affect me. Casting Fireball. Well, damn it, I need the Frostbolt, man. If I have the Frostbolt, I can use this. I'm going to put it on anyway, just because it has better stats. I'm at 3.5 gold from only like 3 satchels, and that's not bad. If I had been just hardcore spamming nothing but BGs, I probably would have triple that and be able to afford a mount by now. So I feel pretty good about where I'm at. Okay, and level 32, sadly I'm dead. Let's go with the Fire Blast. Why not? Maybe if we go the Evoker build and we get the Frostbolt, Fire Blast might actually pay off. And also for now, it gives me something else to do that also scales off a lot of the same stuff if I decide to go farther into, let's say, the Mage tree, or in the future when I get things like Burnout, which it will affect as well. So right now I'm actually shooting out this Scorpid Sting, going for the resistances. I'm so under geared because it's a fresh account and I have no gear, but you know, it turns out, look, a lot of people are under geared. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, there's the occasional big guy at level 40 who won't leave the BG because they just want to farm you. But you know what? For every one of those people, there's like 6 or 7 normal people. So, you know, it is what it is. I really enjoy the simple playstyle of the Arcane Missiles right now. The Scorpid Sting as well for the resistance reduction. It's pretty nice. I'm not pretending I'm strong at all, but what I will say is that this is not even close to a chore. I'm easily getting through this without any real issues. This is just so good, man. As long as you play with your team, it's like the craziest XP ever. I'm level 33 right now, and you know what? I'm not entirely useless. Like I said, I'm spamming those Scorpid Stings, getting that armor reduction down, even on little imps, like just out of just raw mistakes, right? With the tab target, unfortunately. What was that? Look at this. Demonic Wounds, all healing taken reduced by 10%. I wonder what does that. I don't recall that. I don't recall seeing that at any point. Somehow we're beating this team of 38s and 40s, by the way. Well, technically they're beating us, but in terms of the team fights, for some reason, we're still holding up, and that's good. I'll take it. There we go. Scorpid Sting. All right, here they go. Mancrick's wife, dude. Not again. Not again, man. I really wish I had the Moonfire, because there's a really good RE that spams Moonfire off the Arcane Missiles. It's really stupid strong. There we go. This guy knew to go for me, because I'm squishy. But we have the lay on hands, my friend. It's no problem. Yes, dude. All right, they're all on me. Have you noticed that? Oh god, I hope I live. I lived. Okay, for now, let's get those Scorpid Stings off. All right, Arcane Missiles. Okay, he's already dead. Let's pump into Mancrick's wife for a second with the Arcane Missiles. Big damage. Non-sock now? I'm doing nothing. I'm pretending like I'm the one doing something, but really, I'm doing absolutely nothing. It's okay, though. You know what I mean? Like, it's my first character of the account. And I want to make it clear that it's okay to suck. The idea is, can I make it to max and still be good? That is literally what we're trying to figure out. Can I come out of this with a good build, with the right knowledge and good decisions? All right, let's see what we get at 34. Mana feed's interesting. I'm not sure if I'm going to need that, but I'm going to take it anyway. It's interesting. It could be good. Let's do it. Essentially, my imp should never run out of mana now. I should probably resummon that. So yeah, with mana feed, my imp now gets 100% of the mana that I receive from life tap. So he'll be casting firebolts non-stop. That's pretty good. All right, Mancrick's wife once again. Wait, it's a dwarf? No, it's an orc. He's wearing a skin. I was like, what the hell is going on right now? Something's not right. So a lot of what makes you good in Project Ascension is simply understanding what to do at certain times while leveling. So if you start the server when it's fresh, the best way to do things is high risk PvP, because you're going to have a lot more people out there and they're not going to have gear better than you. You're all going to be on an equal playing field. At this point, dungeons and BGs seems to be the way to go. It's just superior in every way. I'm level 34 in what is probably maybe like an hour of actual in-game leveling time. Okay, 4 satchels, and I've got enough for mount training. Yeah, I'm actually leveling that fast. I think I've done like 6 or 7 BGs, and I'm level 35. Now, I won't lie, I can't carry with this character with no gear, so a lot of them are losses, but you still get a satchel for a loss, so who really cares, right? There you go. That is what I need. Now I need to save up 10 gold, which shouldn't be too bad, and then I'll have my mount. And as long as I have all that by 60, which, you know, we're playing a game where prestiging is the name of the game, where you want to do that meta progression, so to speak, and so I think that's perfectly fine. So as long as we acquire it by 60 without actually having to care too much about it, I think we're in a pretty good spot. All right, level 36, counterattack, tremor totem, water walking. I don't want any of that. Let's go water walking. 38, riposte, slow fall, probably right, or drain life. I'm gonna go with the slow fall. It's always nice to have. And level 40, intimidating shout, farsight, and rend. Wow, this is awful. I already have the psychic scream. Intimidating shout is doable as a caster, but it's not as ideal, I think. You know, I'm gonna go farsight. Jeez, that's a really bad draft. All right, 20 more levels to go, guys. All right, level 42. Devouring plague, demon skin, teleport moonglade. No! None of this is particularly great. I'm gonna go with Devouring Plague on the off chance that I end up being a Twilight Paragon build and grab the Shadow Word Pain as well. It'll be an extra dot that already scales off the same stuff as Mind Flay and Shadow Word Pain. So it's not that bad. We'll go for it. It's also a little bit of extra damage right now as well. You can see I've been leveling fast. Fast enough to have 19 Talent Essence unspent and not even realize it. So I guess after this BG, I'll fix that up. Yeah, I think I've basically proven that the best way to level as a new player is just straight up BG leveling. There's no barrier to entry. It doesn't matter if you win or lose. And it's a very easy way to get your mount by 60 without actually having to do anything else other than play your character. I haven't been in a single BG where somebody did not have an aura, so that says a lot. Okay, 44, Shadow Bolt. Another Earthbind Totem, or Mind Vision. You know, I think this time I'm actually going to cave and just take the Earthbind Totem. My rolls have been so bad, I think that I have no choice. Alright guys, going fast. 46. Cleansing Totem, Jesus, Portal Mastery, and Rockbiter Weapon. Oh my god, so many good melee tools on just the wrong class. I'm gonna go Portal Mastery. Alright, I'm in a BG once again, because that is the best way to level hands down, as I said. You know what? The damage is just not there. And you know what? We have 4 more levels before we can roll for that Divine Illumination, and that's gonna be a very big deal. At that precise moment, it's not just the Divine Illumination that we could get that's gonna carry us. It could also be something like Fireball, which would allow us to go Evoker. If we get neither of those, we're going to go Twilight Paragon because we have the Exo and the Smite and the Mind Flay, and that's everything you need for it. At that point, we should become a lot stronger, and we'll have a better idea of where to take our build. Earthbind Totem, by the way, has proven to be pretty good. I've got, you know, one way to CC my targets, one way to slow, but in both cases, I can affect more than one person. So where in a 1v1, I'm going to probably be at a big disadvantage. I'm pretty much excelling in team fights because I can easily get the bears off my allies. I can help CC people. I can slow massive amount of people. There's 2 people here. There's an Earthbind Totem, and then we'll just start laying it into this guy. The sprint as well helps me kite, and so I think overall it's been a pretty good combo. Remember, another really good thing we could get if all else fails is simply Shadow Word Pain, and then we really do have a pretty ideal Twilight Paragon build. All right, Earthbind Totem right here on the choke. I'm waiting to LOH somebody. That somebody might be myself. Yep, it's gonna have to be. There we go. I need to survive as long as I can so I get more XP. That's all it's about right now. I hit 47s with my arcane missiles. Interesting. Blind is my level 48 ability. I think that's gonna have to be the way to go. It's pretty good. It's more CC. Look at this, guys. Selling all of my stuff. Here's my buyback tab. And yeah, I made it to 10 gold, so let's go get our mount. I told you, just selling off the satchels, win or lose, it doesn't matter. You get the money pretty fast. 49 seems like it took a bit, but you have to remember that that's like, what, 8 or 9 BGs, maybe 10 at this point. All right, so let's go ahead and grab the Pinto, because we all know that's the Chad mount. And there we go. We're ready to go. Riding a horse as an orc. Let's get to 50 real quick and do our rerolls. Level 50. All right, I guess it doesn't really matter that this all sucks. We'll go Earthshock. Let's do it, guys. I'm going to grab my Hands of Fate and we'll do the rerolls. Divine Illumination, hopefully. Here I come. Okay, 15 Hands of Fate. Let's see what we get. Wow, we got Kick right off the bat. I think Corruption's actually better here because then we can go Eradication. You would know based on my last video with the Chaos Bolt build that Corruption's pretty good because it can give you access to Eradication. Eradication increases your haste by a considerable amount just off a tick of Corruption. Kick is good too though. I mean, it's a straight up interrupt. I have to be in melee range, but it costs energy, so that's never going to be a problem. So you know what, the more I talk about it, the more I think, you know what, we're gonna go Corruption actually. Let's just do it. And I'll just get rid of Regrowth. I'm fine with the Healing Touch. I feel like this will be more of a PvE build anyway. I just got Wind Fury Weapon a second time on the same freaking caster character. Wow. Wow. Not only that, but I only have 3 rolls left, man, and I've gotten nothing. Nothing that matters. Okay. If I wanted, I could take the Howl of Terror here and have double fear. It's weird. I'm pretty sure they share a diminishing return, because why wouldn't they? And I also have to do 2 talent points into this just to make that happen. So I don't think any of this is actually worth taking, especially not for any of that. All right, 3 more to go. The Frostbolt, guys. That might mean we have to play an Evoker build. It's interesting, the Evoker build, but it does stay true to the Arcane Missiles. Unfortunately, we won't be double dipping with Divine Magic on Arcane Missiles, but still an interesting concept. Let's see if we can actually take it. I could, but I would have to get rid of Mind Blast. That basically means I'm giving up on Twilight Paragon. I think I'm actually okay with that because out of the 2 between Twilight Paragon and Prophet of Wrath, I'd rather play Prophet of Wrath. So let's just get rid of the Mind Blast and go Evoker for a bit. Again, this way we can still make a Prophet of Wrath build happen somewhere down the line. So I'm not giving up on the Prophet of Wrath. I'm using the Evoker as my plan B. I think it's going to be a load of fun too. Yeah, not surprised. Maybe the auto shot. But not for that. I mean, maybe for the Lay on Hands. Maybe now is the time I get rid of it. I might not have another chance. And so now, it even says, unlearn to increase chance to roll legendary. Let's just do it. The auto shot's not disgustingly bad. It's just extra damage if I can keep up the arrows. And I obviously haven't used any. I mean, my ranged weapon is pretty awful. But now I have justification to go for one, I guess, if I want. I'm not saying it's crazy. I'm saying it's something. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and set my talents up to make me into an Evoker build that works and actually is good. And I'll see you guys in a moment. Okay, this is what I've come up with so far just to go ahead and try the build. First and foremost, to make this build work, you need Missile Barrage, which gives my Frostbolt and Fireball a chance to make my next Arcane Missiles channel way faster, have no mana cost, and just as a result do a lot more damage. On top of that, I need to have Brain Freeze. This says my Frostbolt essentially has a 15% chance to make my next Fireball instant cast and do 25% more damage. On top of that, it also just straight up increases the damage dealt by Frostbolt and Arcane Missiles by 9% on targets that are affected by the dot of my Fireball. So you can see how it's all coming together. First and foremost, the reason those 2 things matter is because what happens with Evoker is whenever I cast Arcane Missiles while Missile Barrage is active, so the only time that I'd ever want to be casting Arcane Missiles, right, I'm going to be increasing the chance to proc my next instant Fireball by 50%. The instant Fireball comes from hard casting Frostbolt, so Frostbolt seems to be my filler filler and my go-to. Now, every time I fireball, which I'll only ever do off a brain freeze proc, I'm going to increase the chance to proc my next missile barrage by 50%. So, as a direct result of that, every time I fireball and get that next missile barrage proc, I immediately arcane missiles. Every time I arcane missiles, I can immediately fireball, and that's pretty cool. Of course, after that arcane missiles, the way to proc the brain freeze will come from a frostbolt, and that's where you're getting the trifecta, where I'm basically going frostbolt into the arcane missiles, into the fireball, into the frostbolt, into the arcane missiles, into the fireball, and I just keep doing that. Now, as I continue to do this, I'm granting myself stacks of Evoker, which decrease the cast time of frostbolt further, by the way, incentivizing it as my main filler by 3% up to 15%. On top of that, I increase the damage by 15% and crit by 10% of fireball and arcane missiles. If I can stack it up to 5 times, it goes up by 3% for the damage and 2% for the crit chance for every stack respectively. So that is what I'm trying to do, and that is what I'm trying to build around. So that's entirely how I've shaped this build, with the concept of frostbolt being the only thing I ever truly cast outside of a missile barrage procced arcane missiles and an instant cast fireball, which obviously is not casted with an actual cast time. So I've gotten the improved frostbolt, and obviously the only thing I've taken to reduce casting time for a spell has been for the frostbolt. And so I have this on top of the empowered frostbolt, giving me 0.8 seconds less on the cast time of frostbolt, which has been quite good. And with the empowered frostbolt, I also increase the damage of frostbolt by an amount equal to 9% of my spell power. This will also be a running theme with this build that you'll notice. Now, I'm not really too sure about this next part, but I did it anyway and we'll test it. I have the Fingers of Frost. I'll be able to proc this with the frostbolt, and what this will essentially do is make my frostbolt occasionally crit a lot more often, not really occasionally, but a whole lot more often as a result of the Shatter talent, which is quite good as well. If I had Frost Nova or maybe even Frost Shock, and I got the Enhancement Shaman talent that makes Frost Shock freeze your targets, I could possibly also get that effect off with the Fireball, but for now it only affects the Frostbolt. Now the rest of my talents are really Arcane Mage. I took Arcane Concentration for a clear casting proc, which just reduces the mana cost of my next spell by 100%, and then I went ahead and I took Arcane Potency to make it to where when that happens, the spell that I use for no mana also has 30% increased crit. You can actually see that this will make my Frostbolt basically have a 100% chance to crit a lot of the time, which is quite good. I took Torment the Weak. It's kind of, just a trash pack type of thing. It also is very good for PvP, but it makes my Frostbolt, Fireball, and Arcane Missiles do 9% more damage when they're affected by the slow from Frostbolt. And then I also got 10% more Intellect, 3% more damage, 9% of my total intellect converted into spell power, increased damage on the arcane missiles by an amount equal to 30% of my spell power, and a flat 3% damage buff for me and my whole party, and a few fire mage talents as well: empowered fire to increase the damage of fireball by 20% of my spell power, and molten fury, which increases the damage of all of my mage spells against targets with less than 35% health by 12%, which is just a flat damage buff when they're low. It's also quite good on bosses as a result. I'm thinking I might go for the Ignite because it should be a pretty consistent effect, but I'm really not sure yet as I've never actually tried to build an Evoker build before. And that's what we've got so far. Now I've also got the Summon Imp, I've got the Blind, Psychic Scream, Life Tap, the perfect Evoker setup, and we could potentially Smite. There might actually be some merit to using Smite. We don't have the enchant for it yet, but I'm pretty sure there's a pretty good one with the instant Smite. You can see it here, Swift Justice. Whenever Surge of Light triggers from a non-holy spell, which would be all of mine, mostly probably the Frostbolt, it no longer prevents critically hitting with Smite and increases my spell haste. And for those of you that don't know from all of my holy builds, Surge of Light essentially says my next Frostbolt, Arcane Missiles, Fire Blast, or Fireball have a 50% chance to make Smite instant cast and do 60% more damage. But in this case, unlike normal, it'll be able to crit. So that could be potentially incredibly strong. So I think the build is pretty decent. We have the things we need, like the Life Tap. We have a few kind of duds that we need to get rid of now. But you know what? For level 50 and for a completely random free-to-play build, it's pretty solid. And we already have our mount. I mean, we're good. Okay, so I'm level 56, and I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the power of the Evoker build before we even reach max. First, what I want to say is I'm going to go ahead and spend some of the honor I farmed up with BGs to get some pretty solid starter gear. So for example, I could wait 2 more levels and grab this trinket, and I think I will, a level 58 version of the Rune of Perfection. Spell Pen is always welcome, as well as the Stam. I do think for now, though, I'm going to grab one of the rings, possibly the cloak. I actually think mine, it might be a little bit better. But the ring for sure, level 48 ring is quite good. We can go ahead and replace that crappy lodestone hoop of the boar. So that's a pretty good upgrade. So really farming BGs is good for multiple reasons. Number 1, money. Number 2, XP. And not necessarily in that order, right? But then number 3, gear. It really is like a superior method to level up on Ascension right now. Who would have thought? I remember once upon a time I was begging for them to allow XP and BGs. Look at that, I still have a bent staff. I forgot I did. Well, let's just go ahead and grab the 48 weapon, too. I mean, that's a major upgrade. Who would have thought? I didn't even realize I still had a bent staff. But yeah, guys, I remember once upon a time, I was, like, begging for XP and BGs. And, yeah, people would say, like, that's never gonna happen. Well, it happened. Now, I will say, people's criticisms that it would devalue high risk were true. You really just don't see as many people in the open world anymore if they can just QBGs. The only reason I'm not upset about it is because I don't think it's going to be in Season 8. I think they're going to understand that and rectify it. So to me, I'm just treating this as a special season where BGs are like a really big deal. And I highly suggest you do the same thing and just abuse them as much as you can. My prediction is going to be that Season 8 is going to be a major high-risk PvP season and that they'll do a bunch of cool stuff for that. But we'll have to get there to find out. And look, you don't really need a lot of money to get some stuff that's going to start you off right. I mean, if we look at this, Bloodforged Sacred Cloth Leggings, it's 4 gold. It looks like I can actually get it cheaper at 3 gold, and that's a ridiculous piece of gear right now for my level. With SP, with the int, with the stam, everything I want, and the PvP resilience, only 3 gold. Look at this, I have a beaded robe of the owl, but if I could just click chest, I'm pretty confident I'll find something I need pretty cheap. Yeah, right off the bat, I could get Funeral Pyre Vestment for 3 gold. The Necrophile robe is on here. That's probably the one to grab. It's only 5 gold. Hell, if I can actually come up with 18 more silver, I can grab a Bloodforged Embrace of the Wind Serpent for only 8. I think I'm gonna make that happen. Fact of the matter is, if I sell my old legs and put on these new ones, well, those old legs sell for 1 gold, so that's actually really stupid good. It's because they're plate, so that's nice. All right, so we can go ahead and sell that, and we'll grab a purple robe, and that's definitely going to help as well, because there was 35 spell power on that piece of gear, guys. So point, of course, being you can find stuff that's going to be good, you can easily compete, and that's something I'm trying to show. I want to very much dismiss the narrative that as a new player, you just can't compete unless you spend money. You know, I played this game for basically a year and a half and literally never once put money into the game myself. And it wasn't until recently that I was very into the server that it even became kind of an option. And almost entirely in that regard because I make videos for the game, so it just helps expedite the video making process. But back before that mattered, never spent money, and my videos kind of proved that, yeah, you can easily be successful. But I know it's been a really long time since I was pushing that narrative by doing it, so I thought, yeah, let's just release a video just proving to people once again, it's not a crazy pay-to-win place. It's no different than modern WoW, and you can't just compete, but you can dominate. You can easily dominate. I have got a fully functional, ready-to-go Evoker build, and it's quite good, as you'll see in a moment. And I had 2 other builds I could have gone with as I was leveling. I've still got level 60 to grab, a bunch of Hands of Fate, dailies to do, possible prestiges. I mean, the sky's the limit, right? And I have not once felt like there was a chore or a drag. The BG leveling was just so easy. Okay, so I want to show you guys the Evoker build in action. This was actually a really sick BG, and the saddest part about it is I commentated the entire thing and it was really good, and then I checked back on the clips, realized my microphone got unplugged, probably from my cats, and I lost all of it. No! So what I'm going to do is montage it up. We're going to go through all of these sick-ass fights. We make it to 60 in this BG, and the narrative behind it is that the enemy team ended up getting a healer to 60 on it, and that healer brought PvP gear that they must have farmed out or sent to the character. Level 60 gear, and just like became unkillable to a bunch of mid-50 players who have no gear, and that was the thing that we had to fight. It was the heal you guy that you'll see, I'm sure, in many of these clips. But I was able to lead my team to victory. We were able to rally, and I was able to come in the top 3 by the end of the match, in terms of all different metrics. At certain points being number 1, and at certain points being number 2. For a fresh, brand new account with nothing sent to it, everything earned only by itself, I personally would say that that is pretty damn good. So this was hard, and the only reason I stayed in here at the last 5 minutes when I personally reached level 60 was because the enemy team knew what they were doing with that level 60 healer, or at least that guy knew what he was doing, and they were just totally obviously fine with it, that I felt the need to stay for my team. Even though I didn't have any gear advantages, I couldn't leave them knowing that I could make a difference. And I know that sounds super self-righteous, but honestly, if only you heard, if only the commentary wasn't lost, that is literally what this was all about. So I hope you guys enjoy the clips, and I'll see you in a moment. So despite the level 60 healer with great gear, and despite my team being behind, we were able to rally behind an absolutely clutch defeat on the EFC, and then we were able to return that flag, get that cap, make it 2-2, but because we had the last cap, we were going to win. But it didn't even end there, because I didn't leave. We had 5 minutes left, and I stayed at 60, and I stayed on that level 60 healer the rest of the game, consistently pumping damage into her, even though I don't think I could ever kill her one-on-one. There's no me saying I'm better than her, but what I'm saying is my simple action of being on her the entire game, refusing to let off her when no one on my team had any way to reduce healing, and we were just overall in a shit situation, was what won us this game, hands down. If I had left, nobody would have been able to handle her the way that my constant slows and CC and just being annoying as hell, and then also good damage, one of the best on the team obviously, did to her the entire game. Absolutely clutch, and I thought it was one of the best games I'd played of Warsong Gulch in a while, not necessarily because of my solo 1v1 potential, but because of the teamwork that we had, because of the plays, and because of the fact that we came from behind. And then at the end of it all, guys, we ended up winning the game after that clutch play, and it was just absolutely the most satisfying thing ever. And we got to play a lot of the Invoker build, which I think I want to keep playing because it's actually really fun. So I wouldn't be surprised if I can nail some better abilities if you end up seeing this build again in the future. But honestly, it was just a really sick way to end a BG, to end a 1-60 run with a BG rather. That was just what anybody would want from a BG and the experience that you would get from playing it. But okay guys, let's go ahead and do the giveaway. My commentary for this was also erased, so let me go ahead and say, congratulations Jonathan Nizel. He said, always loved the concept of Fire Mage, Shaman, and Paladin in WoW, but the gameplay felt kind of lackluster. So what Koa is doing is what I always imagined those three to actually be. So in that regard, I said that I think that he's referring to the Pyromancer, the Primalist, the Sun Cleric, which in my opinion are just like better versions of the originals. And I think that's fine, by the way, because they're 2004 concepts that have been constantly added on, and they were the literal best in their prime, and that's fine. But it's okay for things to be better, and I think that this is definitely something I agree with Jonathan with. It's pretty sick. So he says he's really hyped for that, and his in-game name is Zessa. So I went ahead and I showed that I sent him his prize. You can see that on the screen, obviously, already. You're seeing it now. And yeah, that is that. That is the Koa Alpha giveaway. Now, what I will say is I'm going to be doing another giveaway in my Koa video, so make sure to stay tuned for the Koa Conquest of Azeroth custom class videos, because the next one will have another giveaway and you have a chance to get in for free yourself, and that's pretty sick. I never advertise that you should actually be buying with real life money the ability to get in this, but what I will advertise is if you play the game and you can farm like, that's a lot, but like 1,000 or 1,500 gold, you can also just get it off the auction house and you can join with me. That's what I recommend you do. But if you can afford it, yeah, do what you can. But anyway, guys, that is going to be the end of this video. If you enjoyed the all-random, free-to-play playthrough, let me know by giving this video a like. It's a long video, it was a long undertaking, and honestly, I really came out of it with a build that I've been wanting to play for a while, which was enough confirmation bias, so to speak, for me to know that, yeah, you can easily play Project Ascension for free. In fact, there were times where I would say, yeah, Project Ascension is way hard if you don't have any kind of money or, you know, a lot of time to grind in-game money to get the things that you need to make it easy. But I think with enough community backlash throughout the years and just, you know, the Ascension team just always being willing to listen, which just takes so much balls, I think, nowadays from anybody that makes video games, because you don't see it as much anymore. People are too afraid because they think my product can't possibly be bad, and because I get paid to do this, I must by default be superior to anybody who has an opinion on it. You can think that I'm being too harsh, but I think literally if you look at the Hearthstone community, the Warcraft 3 community, the World of Warcraft community, Blizzard in general, it's literally the case that their devs, not all of them, it's probably not even most of them, but there's enough vocal devs that make you think you do but you don't type of shit, and then they end up just being full of it and they don't know any better because they're just too afraid to admit that they're wrong. I mean, I'm just kind of highly paraphrasing my thoughts here just to end the video, but I think you guys know what I mean. I'm proud of the Ascension team, and I really don't give a shit that it's a private server, because congratulations to them for coming up with something so damn good and sticking to it. What can I say? It's pretty sick. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Leave a comment in the comment section below, just for the algorithm. I'll see you guys in the next video. Mcdoubles out.